Young and Flourishing, Transforming Africa. I believe this voice and this image finds you well. We thank God who has taken us through this day and who has taken us through the month of January. Yes, we know this is our last show in this month because this is our last Monday. So we are really grateful to God for the protection, for the provision, for all that He has enabled us do. We congratulate all those who have registered success in this month, and we also pray for those who have grieved, those who have encountered challenges. We believe that God is with you and He will take you through. Edrine Austin Mukalazi is my name, and this is Flourishing Hub. Flourishing Hub is a program brought to you by Young and Flourishing Foundation, which is on a campaign to build what is called Young and Flourishing Network. You can be part of that network. Just go on the social media platforms, Young and Flourishing Foundation on Twitter, on Facebook. You will get a lot of details and contacts of Young and Flourishing Foundation. So today we are here looking at another important topic, which is participating in community transformation. There is a promo that aired before we came on air, which is very important, about the untold legacy of the late Reverend Amos Robert Tabazi. Among the remarkable things he did in that promo is he started very many churches, and this makes his story very big. That is why you shouldn't miss this documentary, which is premiering on 5th February. Do you want to know the churches? The Makanisa Gandhi Gayatandika. Just watch Church of Uganda Family TV this Sunday on 5th February at 8:35 p.m. You will watch a lot of Reverend Amos's works, but you too need to have a remarkable legacy before you leave this world. And one of the ways to do this is participating in community transformation. We always talk about transformation, and transformation starts with me and you. That is why this evening we have an amazing guest who is going to show us how we can participate in community transformation. You don't need money, but what do you need besides money that can be a tool you use in community transformation? With us is Reverend Agaba Andrew. Reverend Agaba Andrew is the director of Household and Community Transformation at the province of the Church of Uganda. So we know we are speaking to the right person. The province has had a lot of community outreaches, including that of Karamoja, and within this show, he'll also tell us how that outreach was, and he will also tell us whether it has yielded any transformation in Karamoja. Reverend, you're most welcome to Flourishing Hub this evening.
Thank you, Edrine, for hosting us this evening. It's a great honor and humbling time for me and very many viewers over the country that are watching this program. And I bless the name of the Lord for today that we appear on the television to speak about community transformation. Amen. In the Church of Uganda. Amen. Like he introduced me, I am Reverend Andrew Agaba. I serve the Lord in the province of the Church of Uganda. By grace, I'm the director for Household and Community Transformation, and I am born again. I serve the Lord in that capacity, and my passion is to see every person living a quality life, as Jesus mentioned in John 10:10b, that I have come that you may have life and have it abundantly.
Amen.
Thank you,
Amen.
Mukalazi.
So, Reverend, this program is brought to you by is brought to our viewers by Young and Flourishing Foundation, and Young and Flourishing Foundation is built on 4 pillars. One of these pillars is money. So, what Young and Flourishing does is to train young people how to work, so that they can earn this money. And when they earn the money, they are guided on how to save it, but also how to invest this money. And the second pillar is daring in life. They open their minds to opportunities, however small or big they might be, so that these opportunities can in turn be world-class businesses. And the third pillar is mentorship. Like we are going to talk about transformation, which also comes as a result of mentorship. So Young and Flourishing Foundation also provides mentorship and provides the mentors that young people need. And the last pillar is strategy, where they guide you on how you can write down your vision. How you can have a plan and how to follow that plan that you have. So with those 4 pillars, we have Flourishing Hub here, and we are discussing participating in community participating in community transformation. And today, Reverend, I want you to first of all give us a detailed synopsis of what you work on in the directorate you head at the province.
Thank you, Edwin. The Directorate of Household and Community Transformation is the socio-economic services arm and in the Church of Uganda that provides a wider community in the country of Uganda an opportunity to have their lives changed as provided in the Master Strategic Plan of 2016-2025, which we have tagged as Church of Uganda as Vision 2025. Our goal is to contribute towards increased household income and improved quality of life of everyone in this country. And we focus on very many things. We focus on removing hunger from our communities by empowering our communities to be food secure in their homesteads. We look at empowering our communities with capacity building to ensure that there is mindset change within our communities and our societies. We also look at environmental and climate change actions. As you are aware, the world is changing each and every day because of a lot of carbon produced by industrialization, and our environment gets depleted. We lose our natural resources every day, and that affects the productivity and the production of food in this country. And we talk to the communities in different areas of this country and in the world actually about environmental protection, disaster risk reduction. We also engage with families on issues to do with gender-based violence, because we understand when we lose the family harmony, then development cannot take place at household level. We also ensure that we talk to these communities. We focus on empowering them with knowledge about saving culture. As you are aware, we have the biggest percentage of our country living on casual labor. In this country, there's unemployment, which is very, very high. We have very few people who are in the employment sector, and therefore we find ways together with our communities in a participatory manner to ensure that there is some savings made at household level, and we generate ideas together to see how people can save, though they earn less, but through our meager earnings, can we save some money to cater for our future needs. And we have done that through Village Savings and Loans Association. We respond to disasters like mudslides. The mudslides, the hunger crisis, like how COVID-19 came in, our directorate was responsive to ensure that those people who did not have what to feed on even for one night, as a church, we had the obligation to look for something to put on the table of those people, at least for a meal for one night. And we also look at empowering systems within our church, because when systems are not proper, when we do not have proper leadership, when there's no strategic direction, especially with no strategic plan, with no planning capacity, with no sense of focusing on the future to see that if I am in 2023, what will happen in 2024. For example, you've just mentioned about Karamoja.
Yeah.
When we had the hunger crisis last year in Karamoja, we went there, we applied. We want to thank His Grace the Archbishop, who made a call all over the country, and we appreciate all our dioceses that responded to the Archbishop's call by giving in the food contributions plus cash contributions that supported the people of Karamoja. But we also made an appeal as a directorate to Act Alliance, where we got $100,000, and we went to Karamoja. We did a pre-distribution assessment where we got what were the needy families, who were the needy families or needy people. That included 0 to 5 years, the elderly. You would look at people emaciated, and these people, we distributed food among 2,000 households. Those are recorded in our data. But we are sure that in Karamoja's Church of Uganda, we put 90 tons of posho in the hunger crisis. But now that, as a directorate of household and community transformation, we don't stop at that. We look at the future. For example, we made a prediction in 2023. There's going to be another hunger crisis in Karamoja because insecurity continued. There's a big dry spell that started in November when Kampala was receiving rains and other parts of the country. Karamoja was already dry, and we found it not sustainable in the 21st century to be distributing food in Karamoja, and therefore from there it is our mandate to ensure that we now generate policies that will create sustainability. And as I talk now, the directorate is under a process of formulating a concept. We have signed an MOU with National Agriculture Research Organization to do food technology, to begin developing technologies that will fit in the climate of Karamoja. For example, the beans. Recently, on 29th of November 2022, we were there promoting the Eyok Maret campaign. That's a type of campaign to promote the beans that will grow properly in Karamoja. We are developing technologies with National Agriculture Research Organization of goats that will survive in Karamoja, and other things that will come up. We shall do mindset change program, and therefore we call upon the stakeholders and the government to come in and support the Church of Uganda, because in the next 5 years, we want to have a Karamoja that is food secure, that is free of malnutrition, and can ably sustain their communities without looking at different parts of the country for food contribution.
Yeah. So, Reverend, when you talked about mindset change, this program actually is centered around mindset change, especially in the young people. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about the fresh energy that you need to achieve the Vision 2025, I believe they're the young people. But then there is a way we young people exclude ourselves in such community activities. And maybe before we even go any further, first of all, tell us how important it is for us to be part of these activities of transformation.
Thank you very much. The young people, this country is composed of 77% of the young people. And when we look at the statistics, most of them are graduates. Yeah. Recently, I was interacting with the border teams, and I discovered we have very many graduates riding border.
Exactly.
I have been interacting with businessmen. I have discovered there are some graduates who are pushing wheelbarrows as a source of survival.
Yes.
And that means we need a proper shift in the mindset, because the greatest capital that we have on earth is our brain. And as Africans, because I know this program is young and flourishing,
yes,
therefore it calls for the young people to listen to this, because we discuss a lot with them. How do we perceive about issues in our life? How do we tackle issues that face us, especially with income generation? Some of our colleagues or some of the young people, they want to do white-collar jobs, when actually in this country you do not have more than 30,000 opportunities of employment. And how many are released out of the university as graduates?
I think that, Reverend, to start from there, that might have been developed by the mindset that we are talking about.
Yes.
There is an article in today's papers. I'm not sure that it was New Vision, or I think it was New Vision. But the fate of the 100,000 students who failed PLE. Actually, it was opportunities, but these opportunities were vocational skills. So I think this now adds on to what people think, that vocational skills or vocational training is for only those who have failed in this other formal education. Yet, when we look at what you're trying to talk about, it's like white-collar jobs, a few. So all of us should have skills that enable us thrive through the hardship of employment search.
Yes, thank you. When you read our theme as Church of Uganda for this year 2023, it's united for service and growth. Yes. That is in Ephesians 4:11-16. And when you read it, you'll find that many of us are given different appointments by the Lord. And therefore, I would bring it back to the youth fraternity. Yes. That some of us are teachers, some of the young people could have studied business, but actually you don't find a job as an accountant. You'd have studied maybe development studies, and it's not easy for you to find a job as an accountant or as a community development worker. But what is in your hands? What is the talent, the gift that you have? Are you good at smiling to people? You could, based on that, and get some opportunity, maybe in a restaurant that pays well, than sitting at home with your papers for so many years. Or you start a restaurant. That's an innovation where somebody has a creative mind, because when you studied development studies, it equips you with the capacity to study the psychology of people and know what they want and know the area that you are in and how you can serve them properly. It does not qualify you to go and sit in an office. When you study business, you are required to think widely outside the box. If somebody, I've been telling some of the people that if somebody went to P2 and is selling tomatoes, how can a degree holder who has studied business, marketing, and branding, how can you package tomatoes? Maybe you want to turn them into tomato paste. Maybe you want to use some little capital and connectivity to bring business to order, and you find yourself easy or well equipped to balance your books, use your degree to balance books better than the person who did not go to school and has been doing like selling tomato business for so many years. How do we use, for example, you have talked about the failures of PLE exams. It's not the end of the world. Those are going to turn into billionaires. Wait very soon, because the first time I came out of the university, the first person to borrow me money was somebody who did not go to P1. And when I went to his shop, he told me that he cannot give me the 50,000 the first time because our salaries come late when their businesses have collapsed. So he would want to see cash flowing in his business every day. So he has mastered the art of having a shilling in his drawer every day. And for me, I had just started earning my salary of 500,000 and I felt big. But this man put me down and made me humble. But finally, he supported me. But it taught me a lesson that even when you have not gone to school, you can be creative and make an opportunity for yourself and others and be able to earn money. And when we are in this community, these communities that we go to, we speak to these women. You see amazing stories. You see a lot of progress happening in our country. And you wonder, you begin marveling, should I get out of my office? But it's surprising that you speak to many of the graduates who are here in Kampala, who are in Jinja, who are in other towns of this country. They feel they should not go up country. But when your father has land, you have a free house, you have free water at home, you have free electricity, but you want to be hosted by somebody here in Kampala, and for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But the person in the village is making progress. And when you go back, you are like, how did you make this? It's just learning, what do you have in your hands? What best can you do with yourself? And then you go and start your business.
So we want to commend the government of Uganda. Indeed, the president is trying, not even has tried, but is trying to come up with programs that make young people flourish. For example, we had NADS, we had Operation Wealth Creation, we had Entandikwa, we had Wanabagagawale. You know, there are a lot of programs that the president has come up with, and I totally believe that all these programs have not yielded the expected results. So why do you think these programs, because they are aimed at community transformation and empowerment, but then the results are not much as expected by those that come up with these programs?
Thank you very much. I have told you I have an experience of more than 15 years in community development. And the person you're talking to, I have been a youth leader both in church and government before I became a clergy. And I have interacted with youth and young people in this country, and I've also interacted with old people. This government, I want to commend the government of His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for the conducive environment it has provided. Let's look around the streets of Kampala. You see youth doing business every hour, during the day and during the night. Those who want to do Chikommando, those who want to do border and are genuine, they are excelling. they are succeeding in their business. But we have those that have not cared for to tap into this conducive environment. For example, let me use the young generation, or around senior 4 leavers, senior 6 leavers. You talk to the young person of this generation that can you go and study hairdressing, and somebody is not willing. Yet when I take you take your wife for a salon here in Kampala, around Mabilizi complex, around Wandegea, and other good places in Kampala. I think some of the hairstyles go as far as 200,000, 500,000, facial makeups. And here I have studied the salon business. Salon will be there for life because hair grows every week. Yeah. So therefore, somebody who has done hairdressing cannot fail to get what to put on the table. Yeah. But there are some businesses that will collapse every day. Yes, when you study building, people continue to build, and they are discovering a lot of architectural sciences and architectural styles that somebody needs to keep on updating and upgrading. That maybe if you studied bricklaying and construction, tomorrow you'd want to add on the skill of tiling. Today, maybe terrazzo, maybe painting. Those are skills that even you as Edrine, you could go and study. Yeah. And over when you're off, it's an alternative business for you to do painting, and you advertise your company. Those are some of the alternatives that are provided in this country, that whoever wishes to have a skill cannot die or cannot suffer with unemployment. And therefore, when we speak with our community members, we don't just concentrate on food security. We open the eyes, we open the minds, because when His Grace the Archbishop was being installed as the 9th Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, you remember on 1st April 2020, he had 3 H's, and he said that the conversion of the heart, the conversion of the head, and the conversion of the hands will lead to salvation. And we see the thinking, the minds, and the attitude that somebody has, or the perspective somebody has about a certain situation. If you have a positive thinking about it, you will go through it and you will succeed.
And you said what you think is what you be, and what you see.
Yes, what you think is what you'll be.
Whether positive or negative.
If you have a negative perspective on something, if your attitude is very negative, you live a stressed life, you'll not be happy, and you'll not be motivated to do that thing even when it is good. Okay. But if you have a positive attitude towards something, even when it fails, you'll continue trying, and at the end of it all, you'll succeed. Because that one came from our discussion when we are talking about the 3 H's that are promoted by our Archbishop, Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, the conversion of the heart, the conversion of the mind, and the hands. And you remember when Jesus came here, during his life, when you read Luke 4:18 and 19, he says that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me to bring good news to the poor. And when Jesus is talking about the poor, he's not talking about those without cash. He's talking about those without cash, but also the poor in the mind, those who have not sought for wisdom from God. And wisdom opens your scope of thinking, and you have positivity and hope about life. And he continues to say that he's bringing sight to the blind. Blindness does not mean that there are those who are naturally blind, that your eyes cannot see where your footsteps are going.
Yes.
But there are those that are blind. The blindness that he's talking about is being ignorant of the kingdom of God. And the kingdom of God is full of opportunities. It is full of chances. It is full of happiness and joy. And that is what Jesus is talking about. He says, I bring liberty to the captives. What is capturing you? Think about your life. We are talking about the youth.
Yes.
The moral fiber within our youth. You look at the young person. He meets an elderly person and just passes or abuses, not knowing that that person forms part of the interviewing panel to the office he's going to apply. But because he has a 20,000 and has sat in Cafe Javas, and that Mzee has come, maybe he looks at him as the person of analog. For him, he's a person of .com. You get it? And when they try to talk to them, they look at them as archaic. But when actually they determine their future, that's where we have reached. What type of dress code do you have? Does it present you? There I'm talking about branding. If I meet you as Edwin, do I feel comfortable to say, can you come and volunteer in a church institution? Even when you're unemployed, do you have that opportunity of your brand that you have created? Where are you located every evening? What are you doing? You get it?
I think, Reverend, this actually takes us to now this point, because when you were giving us a broader explanation on transformation, you told us that as the church, you're doing capacity building, which is part of mindset change, and that is part of transformation. There is environment and climate change. There is removing hunger, which is through empowerment. Of food security and gender-based violence and a lot of that. So we want to look at the indicators of a transformed household, because it all starts with a household that nurtures this young man who disrespects the elders, this young man who engages in all sorts of vices that are contrary to society.
Thank you, Edrine. So, as the Directorate of Household and Community Transformation, we have developed or we have 11 indicators that when we reach Edwin's house, we know that this is a transformed household. For example, we need to see a shelter. What do we mean by shelter? We see a house that can ably accommodate its members under a well-roofed frame. You are protected from everything that could hamper your life. We don't look at the bigger structure, the big mansions that we see in Kampala. We look at the basic shelter. Is it clean? Is it of good accommodation to the number of people that are in that home? Then availability of wash facilities. What do you use? Do the wash facilities that you have can they prevent illnesses? Or you don't have, let's say, because I have my friends in different areas of the country where I go, you find that you can't go because there's no pit latrine, there's no urinal, and therefore they are prone to several illnesses like diarrhea. The children suffer from kwashiorkor. They have these big stomachs. And the homestead should have a neat and clean compound that even when children come, they can enjoy life at home. Remember, our goal is to empower households to have income and enjoy quality life wherever they are. Do you have kitchen and modern cooking stoves? Yeah, we talked about climate change and adaptation, environmental protection. Some of those modern stoves, they help us to conserve the environment because the fuel consumption or the firewood that they consume is less compared to the open three stones that we used to have traditionally. Then saving culture. How is the family involved in saving? Are family members encouraged to have some savings? And we don't use this on a population that earns highly in this country. We use this assessment on somebody who depends on casual labor. For example, in a village in Kabiramaido, a person who goes to dig in somebody's garden would be paid like 7,000 per day. But if they pay you 7,000 per day, is it a must that you should eat the 7,000 per day? Yes, we understand we are in an economic crisis where soap is expensive. We have sugar, very expensive. But saving is a sacrifice. Can we expend 5,000 but still save 2,000 per day? So that at the end of the week, you have, like if you have worked for 5 days, if you save 2,000 times 5, you have 10,000, and that 10,000, the family is safe to get a border to the hospital. The family is safe to buy a certain thing they need quickly. They have the confidence that in the house there is something. And we do this by promoting Village Savings and Loans Association in different parts of the country. Because those Village Savings Loans Association, they do not require a lot of collateral, and when they are built up, they are the ones that graduate into circles and different saving groups that help people to access loan facilities without collateral. Then we look at a homestead. You have talked about the loss of moral fiber. Now, if that homestead has a shelter, has a saving scheme, children cannot be sick, then the opportunity for children to go to school is definitely there, because there's some money to pay in a UPE school. And when you find that that homestead cannot send children to school, then those are the crimes that we find in our society. The family should have at least some livestock. We're looking at 10 birds. We are looking at around, we look at goats. We look at maybe families can manage. Can they have maybe cows? You have seen us distributing in-calf heifers to produce milk, to produce cow dung for manuring the gardens, but also have some income from the milk production and reduce malnutrition. And that helps us to earn some income at household level. Then employment. Are family members employed somewhere? Or there are these people that, I don't know if Edrine, in your community you have some people who sit from Monday to Friday. They wake up, they go to the bars, drink. They are waiting for people.
They're in every society.
So if the family has a business they are doing, be it self-employed, be it being employed by somebody, or you are employed in an office, but that is an indicator that you are on a road to transformation. Then access to clean water and light. We are not talking about umeme. Umeme sometimes is expensive, but can we able buy solar? Clean water facilitates very many things in terms of cleanliness, presenting family members to other members of the community. So there's that opportunity to lobby and network through our discussions. The self-esteem is promoted. Then also Clean Light provides an opportunity for school children to study and read at night, even when they cannot join boarding. Then family harmony, there's cooperation between the man and the wife, the husband and the wife. They plan together, they raise their children together, they have discussions together, and that's why we talk about issues to do with gender-based violence elimination. We have talked to the faith leaders in different parts of the country. We trained them on how they can counsel couples to ensure that there is family harmony. And the most of all, the 12th indicator is the spiritual uprightness. This family, maybe something that I didn't talk about, the Directorate of Household and Community Transformation, much as it is a program or a Directorate of Church of Uganda, our operations are non-segregative, like how Family TV is for Church of Uganda, but we broadcast to every person in the country who wants to hear the transformative message. Yes. And therefore, development has no boundaries. I am a clergy, but I have the obligation to relate to a Muslim, to relate to a Catholic, because when we develop together, then God, who has created us, is very happy, because we shall live in harmony. So when we reach that family, we will understand that this family goes to church. Maybe there are indicators that, of course, we cannot measure salvation, but you look at the morals of the children, the parents, and you understand that this family lives in peace. They are clean, and those are some of the things that we deal with in different homesteads.
Now, Reverend, we want to have a flashlight into your 5 months journey in this office. So for the 5 months you've been in this office of the Directorate of Household and Community Transformation, do you see any hope of achieving the Vision 2025 by 2025, or when 2025 comes, you'll request for some more 5 years to achieve the set targets?
Thank you very much, Edrine. Like I told you, I am a development expert trained in community development as my first training, and I have passion of seeing that every person in the community lives a quality life. This Vision 2025 is a combination. It's a multi-sectoral dimension where every stakeholder must do or must play a role to ensure that we achieve. Therefore, we have the mission focus, we have the education services, we have the health, we have the socio-economic arm of the church, and we have other stakes that come in. But for the 5 months, this is not the first time I am interacting with it, because I have served the church for the last 15 years in this country and in the development arm. But what I see is that we are on the way towards achieving the Vision 2025. Yes. Because as I talk, we are now looking at, when Bishop Tucker was here in Uganda, you remember Bishop Tucker? Yes. That he left 3 things for Church of Uganda: a self-propagating church, a self-governing church, and a self-sustaining church. As we talk today, we are 60 years of being independent from the Church of England. And as we measure our achievements, we see we have propagated ourselves. We are in all parts of the country, almost all parts of the country. That's why we have the 37 dioceses. We have a structure that runs from the province to the grassroots level. We are present in all the villages in this country. And now we are at a point of self-sustenance. How do we ensure that there is sustainability? And therefore, in the last 5 months that I've been in this office, I have moved to different parts of the country, including Karamoja. I have already presented how we look at the perspective that we have for the future of Karamoja region, the 9 districts. How do we ensure that Karamoja comes up to another level from where it has been for the last 30 years or for the last very many decades that have passed? We have looked at the Diocese of Kitgum. For example, now there is a disaster risk reduction and environment climate adaptation project that is going to run for 3 years. That has been set because Kitgum has fertile soils, is good at production of fruits, but is hit by the dry spell, and some of the things cannot come up because of the man-made activities like bush burning, like no tree plantation. So we shall be doing some of the things. Then other areas like Kumi or Bukedia, that is the Kumi diocese, we identified there was a lot of GBV that was hampering development, and there is already a gender and social justice project funded by ACT Alliance through our directorate, and it's going to run up to 2025. We have the Mid-Central, which is Lyantonde, we have Rakai, we have Sembabule, we have Masaka, where we are also implementing a gender and social justice.
The Masaka diocese.
Yes.
Or West of Uganda.
And very soon we are thinking about the border. Because we realize that as a church, we need to be close to our people who are in the border community. There's a lot of decadence going on. The boy or the man starts riding a border at 17 years and will never graduate. We are thinking, what happens to a border person who is hit around City Square, and the wife is in Kabiramaido or Kanungu or somewhere in the country, and cannot trace even the border group that person who has just passed on has been saving in money? What can they rely on? What is the future of the children? So very soon we shall be enrolling out those programs. And we see ourselves moving towards that. We have signed an MOU with the government of Uganda through NADS, or through National Agriculture and Advisory Services. Already we are working within 5 dioceses. We have given out heifers. We have given out piggery. We have given out poultry to women, the men, the youth. And we are touching every aspect of the society, but also building the mindset in different aspects. We are going to look at crop production. You very well know that agriculture is the backbone of this country. Yes. And we are also going forward to talk about agriculture. Like we are now proud of South Ankole that has invested a lot of efforts. The Diocese of South Ankole Diocese, they have coffee plantations. They are now moving toward establishing a coffee factory. And other dioceses are coming up. We have promoted house avocado growing. Very soon we shall start avocado growing. And cooperatives are going to come up very soon to ensure that our communities can live in a sustainable manner.
Wow. So I believe we can't wait to see this flourish in the church, but also in Uganda as a country. Now, Reverend, I know time is I won't enable us complete this discussion, but before you go, what are your parting shots in a minute? Yeah.
Thank you very much. I also want to thank the viewers who have been listening to this program. Maybe some people would want to ask questions before we leave, or time is gone.
Time is actually yes.
Yes.
But just in case you want to send in your question, Reverend Agaba will be back here sometime. We shall still let you know when he will come. He's part of us, so because he has come, he will still come even next time, and he'll respond to those very many questions that we might be having.
Yes. Thank you, Edrine. So I want to thank the viewers who have been in your comfort zones, in your living rooms, watching us and listening to our message for community transformation. We call upon each and every person to use the resources that we have at hand. Because you remember when God was sending Moses, Moses said, I can't manage this leadership or going to Pharaoh, but what do I use? And God posed to him a question: what do you have in your hands? Therefore, think about what you have in your hands. Use it to create success to yourself. Create positivity within yourself to ensure that you can grow and develop from the step where you are and change your life. But also, can we work together, as the theme of this year says, united for service and growth, and together we can change our society.
Amen. Together we can change society. So me and you, hands joined together, we can change our society. We can change Uganda. We can change that song that you always sing about Uganda, that negative song. I want to thank you so much for watching today's show. This has been Flourishing Hub, brought to you by Young and Flourishing Foundation, which has given birth to Young and Flourishing Network, which network is me and you. So we shall start from there next week, but next on your TV is Evening Prayer. Remember to wake up with us on Good Morning Family from 7 to 10 p.m. God bless you. Meet again next Monday.